We should help ourselves. We should love ourselves more. Don't be a slave for money, for the others people anymore. We deserve better. We deserve to have a better life. As a human being, we don't need to suffer like this. But of course, in this world, there are so much things around us. Of course, we will be suffer this and that. But if we know how to manage our feelings, our emotions, we wouldn't suffer that much. Myself and all others monks as well. We also have feeling. We have our heart. We have everything, right? It's just the difference is that we practice mindfulness daily. So we know how to manage our emotion, our feelings when things come. We are not reacting that quick, that easy. So ask ourselves, how much now you being sidetracked? That is not mindfulness. See, so simple and easy. You get yourself sidetracked, then that is why suffering is being with us. Okay. You have a question? Now you sidetrack again. Everybody are sidetracked now. This is exactly what I said. And I'm here talking about mindfulness. Focus in one thing at a time. And now that you are not listening to me anymore. Oh wow, okay. Yes, ma'am. How do we learn to detach and be mindful? So we know about attachment already, right? We know that really well. But how do we detach? How do we practice mindfulness? And mindfulness is the key for all of this. Mindfulness is simply just within our breath right here, by the nostril area. We breathe every day. Okay, enough. Let's focus in my talk. Within our breath, we breathe every second to survive, to live. But we didn't aware of our breath going in and out. So now that we practice in mindfulness means we put awareness here within our breath going in and now the breath going out. When you breathe in, you're aware of that breath going in. When you breathe out, you're aware of that breath going out. All we need to do is just focus on that in and out without forcing our breath. Just breathe in and out naturally, and then each breath go in, you realize, you acknowledge it, you note that as in, and breathe out, you note that as out, and focus in that. When you focus in your breathing, now that you can see your thoughts arise. Thought is arising every second. It's just that we cannot see them because they are going very quickly. They come and goes just like that, quickly. We cannot see them. And now that we let go of everything and focus on our breathing only, one job, one thing. And this is when you can see your thoughts, that monkey mind. You can see that monkey is jumping here and there. When you see that monkey jump, for most of us, our habit is to follow that monkey. Either that monkey jump to the past or to the future. We always follow it. So now if we are aware of that monkey jumping, we will note that, oh, that monkey is jumping now. But my job is breathing. So I will come back here to continue my breathing. And so when that thought comes, you acknowledge it, you observe that to see if, oh, you have a thought, but you don't follow it, you observe it, you note it, think, thought silently like that, and come back here. Come back with the breathing. And then breathe in, breathe out, another thought pop up, acknowledge it, come back here. Acknowledge, come back here. Keep doing that, bringing your mind back, your concentration back to this right here. And then sound, any type of sound, any type of noise. Acknowledges the sound, come back here. Seeing. While earlier you're listening to my talk, when you see the venerable monks come out and Aloka came out, seeing, instead of sidetrack, acknowledges as seeing, come back here. Observe that, come back here with the breathing. Anything, we have to bring our concentration back right here. And then sound, feelings on this body, sensation, any type of sensation on this building, on this body. Itchy, numb, pain, anything. Acknowledge as feeling, come back here. Our job is to bring our concentration back to this present moment right here and now. That's it. We didn't have this habit. We have the old habit, the bad habit, which is chasing after things. Right? Just like Aloka, he's curious about everything here. When he see any type of movement, he will go for it. Our mind is the same. When we see something, when we hear something, we head that way. We look that way. Like before I train Aloka, when he see the squirrel, he will go after the squirrel. When he see the rabbits, he go after the rabbit. And then now after we train him, when he see the squirrel and the rabbit, when I say stay, he will stay. Like that. Same thing as our mind. When it's well trained, when you want that animal to stay right here, this present moment right here and now, that wild animal will stay. But when it's untrained, then it's just going to chase after things. Right? Just keep on chasing after things. And of course, Aloka nowadays won't listen to me anymore. Because you spoil him. And so, we train our mind, we train our concentration to come back to this present moment by breathing in and out. That is mindfulness. When you do the work, when you eat, when you drink, when you dress, when you go to the bathroom, when you do anything in life, you have to just do one thing at a time. Are we all here multitask? Yes? Yes, of course. Nothing new. So we need to change that. Do not multitask anymore. Do one thing at a time. Eat, mindfully eat. Don't talk, don't watch movie, don't listen to music. Dress, just mindfully do that dress. Sometimes we spend hours in that bathroom just to pick out the dress because you listening to music and then mumbling and things like that the whole time. And sometimes when we do a lot of things in our life, we cannot focus. It's because your lover is always pointing at me. Your cell phone. You live with that every day like that. So we cannot. She's putting away her lovers right now. She feel bad. So, we need to train ourselves like that. Trying to liberate a little bit of everything, every day, just like those sunflowers. When it's still young as a bud, it's like this whipping down like this, right? But then when it's grow each and every day, it will head up to the sunlight, every day like that and stand upright to get the sunlight and to bloom flowers. It means that when we practice, we will fail. All things in life, sufferings, greedy, hatred, angers, delusion, all those things in life, we all have. We are the same. We have all these things in life. But when we realize that all these are just sufferings, and then when we practice mindfulness, we keep on failing, because the most thing in this world that you make you bored is meditation. Because remember that monkey mind, the monkey is always jumping. They want something to be more fun and enjoyable. The mind is like that. Now that you're forcing yourself to sit down and then breathe in and breathe out, that is boring. But when something, what's going on? You bored with your breath before? No? So when we forcing ourselves to do something that our mind does not like, then it tends to go to sleep. So at the beginning, when you practice, a lot of the time you'll fall asleep because you are not mindful with your breath. And our mind is like that, but nothing wrong with it. As long as you realize that you're already asleep, then you need to wake up and come back here again. That is how we train ourselves to bring it back to this present moment every time. When you realize it, come back right away. When you realize it, come back right away. It doesn't matter how long. Even if you set your time for 1 hour meditation, you spend 59 minutes of sleeping. It's okay. With that last minute, you realize that you slept. You in the deep mode of sleeping. It's okay. Wake up, come back here. You still got 1 minute left. It's okay. 1 minute per day. Gradually, you master your mind. You can be an expert on breathing for yourself. Because at the beginning, like I said, always we encounter a lot of problems. And this is the most difficult time for the practitioners, because they will feel like, I don't see the result for myself. Probably this method is not meant for me. Or he teach something is not right. It's because we expect the results. And to tell you what, the more you expect,
the more you suffer.
You will never get the results. You suffer with it. You will fail because of expectation. No expectation when we practice anything. Just keep doing it. Be mindful with it and believe in yourself that you can do this. Okay? So it means that every day we need to practice every day. That means when we change in ourselves. And then just like that, sunflowers keep rising upright to head to the sun, to get the sunlight and bloom. Like us, one day we will stand upright and wisdom will rise. But you have to believe in yourself, you have to put effort into it. And patience. Without this, we cannot make it. We will go back to our old days, which I hope not, because a lot too much already. Let us not go back to our old days anymore. 2026 should be the most beautiful year, important year, and we have to become a new person in this year. Otherwise, we regret. Because this world, time is not going to wait for us. Okay? Any other question? Yes, sir.
What do you hope for?
What do I hope for when I get to Washington, D.C.? I hope that we can go home safely. When we get to Washington, D.C., we spend 3 days in Washington, D.C. Um, a lot of people ask me, what will I do in Washington, D.C.? Same like your question. I said, let me try to finish today first. Because I don't know about tomorrow. And if I say that this is what I want in Washington, D.C., and what if I cannot make it? Yesterday, one of the gentlemen come to me and said, if you don't stop talking right now, you will not get to Washington, D.C.
It's raining.
What comes will come.
It's raining.
What do you do about a parent getting an illness?
What do we do when our parents get an illness? You know, when we have this physical body, nobody can escape from illness. I do have illness. A lot of us here also have different type of illness, right? When we have this body, from being born, aging, illness, death, these are the 4 type of sufferings, the truth that all beings will have to go through. Right? So illness is one of the suffering things in this lifetime. It's regardless of our parents or ourselves or our loved one or our children. But here's one thing that we could do. Of course, this physical body, the doctor will handle that for us already, right? They will have all kind of treatments and medication to support. But for ourselves, we cannot do that because we are not doctor. But we could do something to support, which is the mind. Be honest with you. When the doctor says you only have 7 days left in this world, when you receive that statement, when the doctor tells you that, how many days we have left? What do you think? How many days?
Today we have.
Most of the time, we don't have 7 days. Maybe 2-3 days. You know why? It's because of the mind. It's pulling this body down rapidly. The mind is super important. It can either lift this body up or pull this body down all the way. It's because when you receive that statement and you freak out, you scare. Because everybody's scared, afraid of death. Right? And because when we scare, this mind is dropping down all the way. And it have nothing to support this body. That's why we die quicker, faster.
There is a quiet but urgent whisper that runs beneath the noise of our modern lives. A persistent feeling that despite all our striving, earning, and doing, we have somehow drifted away from our own centers. We wake up, we rush, we work, we scroll, and we sleep, often feeling more like passengers in our own existence than the drivers of it. In the heart of this frantic rhythm, the teachings of Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, the spiritual leader of the Walk for Peace pilgrimage, arrive not as a commandment from on high, but as a gentle, compassionate invitation to return home to ourselves. His message begins with a radical premise that might feel foreign to many of us raised in a culture of endless productivity. We deserve better. We deserve to love ourselves more. To love oneself, in this context, is not an act of vanity or narcissism, it is an act of reclamation. So many of us have become, in the Venerable's words, slaves to money, to the expectations of others, and to the relentless machinery of society. We have been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our output, that resting is a weakness, and that peace is a luxury reserved for retirement. But the truth is, as human beings, we do not need to suffer this way. While it is undeniable that the world is filled with challenges, sickness, loss, conflict, and the inevitable friction of daily life, there is a profound difference between the pain of the world and the suffering we create within our own minds. We carry a heavy burden not because the world is heavy, but because we do not yet know how to set it down. The invitation here is to realize that a better life is not found in a new job, a new car, or a new relationship, but in a new relationship with our own hearts. However, realizing we deserve peace is only the first step. The actual terrain of our internal lives is often much stormier. One of the most comforting aspects of this path is the realization that even those who have dedicated their lives to spiritual practice, like the monks on a peace walk, are not robots void of emotion. They, too, have hearts. They, too, experience feelings. The distinction between a master of mindfulness and someone who feels overwhelmed is not the absence of emotion, but the management of it. When we are untrained, our reactions are instantaneous. A spark of anger arises, and we immediately become the fire. A wave of sadness hits, and we drown in the ocean. This is what it means to be sidetracked. We are walking down the street of our lives, and suddenly a thought, a criticism, or a worry pulls us into an alleyway, and before we know it, we have lost hours or days to rumination. Mindfulness is the art of widening the gap between the stimulus and the response. It is the cultivation of a pause that allows us to see the emotion rising, to recognize the anger, the fear, or the desire, without immediately acting upon it. It is the difference between being carried away by a river and standing on the bank watching the water flow. When we get sidetracked, suffering is our companion because we have forgotten where we are. We have forgotten the present moment. The practice, therefore, is not to suppress our humanity or to become unfeeling stones, but to become so intimately aware of our internal landscape that we can navigate it with grace rather than being tossed about by every changing wind. But how do we anchor ourselves when the winds are strong? The answer lies in something so simple it is easily overlooked: our own breath. The breath is the only physiological function that is both automatic and within our control, making it the perfect bridge between the body and the mind. We breathe every second to survive. Yet we rarely acknowledge this constant companion until we run up a flight of stairs or catch a cold. The practice of mindfulness begins right here, at the tip of the nose, in the nostril area. It does not require special equipment or a quiet mountaintop. It requires only the willingness to notice the air entering and the air leaving. The instruction is delightfully uncomplicated. When you breathe in, you know you are breathing in. When you breathe out, you know you are breathing out. You do not need to force the breath or manipulate it into a yogic rhythm. You simply observe it as it is. By placing our awareness on this rhythmic sensation, we provide a job for the mind. We give it a single, neutral point of focus. This act of noting, silently acknowledging, in and out, serves as a tether. It anchors us in the reality of the physical present. The breath can only happen in the now. You cannot breathe for yesterday, and you cannot breathe for tomorrow. Therefore, if you are truly with your breath, you are truly in the present. It is a sanctuary that is portable, free, and always available, waiting for us to simply remember it exists. Yet, as anyone who has tried to sit in silence for more than a minute knows, the mind does not surrender its chaos easily. No sooner do we resolve to watch the breath than the monkey mind begins its gymnastics. This metaphor of the monkey is ancient and apt. Our minds are restless, jumping from branch to branch, obsessed with the past or anxious about the future. Venerable Panikara offers a charming and relatable analogy from his own experience training a dog named Aloka. Before he was trained, Aloka was a slave to his impulses. If he saw a squirrel, he chased the squirrel. If he saw a rabbit, he chased the rabbit. He had no autonomy. He was purely reactive. Our untrained minds are exactly like Aloka. We see a notification on our phone, and we chase it. We hear a piece of gossip, and we chase it. We remember an awkward conversation from 10 years ago, and we chase it down a rabbit hole of shame. We are constantly running after the squirrels of our thoughts. The goal of mindfulness is not to beat the dog or to surgically remove the monkey. It is to train the mind to stay. When a well-trained dog sees a rabbit, it might still want to chase it. But if the master says, "Stay," the dog stays. It overrides the impulse with discipline. Similarly, when we sit to meditate and a thought arises, we see it, we acknowledge it, we might even note it gently, thinking, but we do not chase it. We return our attention to the breath. This return is the bicep curl of the mind. Every time we catch the monkey jumping and bring it back to the breath, we are building the muscle of concentration. We are reclaiming our sovereignty from our impulses. This practice of noting and returning extends beyond just thoughts. As we sit, the world continues to happen around us and within us. We hear a car horn, sound, and we return to the breath. We feel a sudden itch or a cramp in the leg, feeling, and instead of immediately scratching or shifting, we observe the sensation. We watch it rise and fall. We learn that discomfort, too, is impermanent. This objectivity is the beginning of true freedom. When we stop reacting blindly to every itch, every noise, and every stray thought, we cultivate a profound inner stability. We stop being the victim of our environment and start being the witness of it. The tragedy of modern life, however, is that we have institutionalized distraction. We have become a culture of multitaskers, wearing our busyness like a badge of honor. We eat while watching TV. We drive while listening to podcasts. And we sit on the toilet scrolling through social media. We are never fully doing just one thing. The Venerable uses a striking, almost humorous metaphor for our attachment to our devices. The cell phone has become our lover. We hold it, we gaze at it, we sleep next to it, and we give it the attention that belongs to the real people and real moments in front of us. We are in a relationship with a screen, and it is costing us our lives. The call to mindfulness is a call to break up with this toxic lover and return to the sanctity of single tasking. When we eat, we should just eat, tasting the food, feeling the texture, appreciating the nourishment. When we dress, we should just dress, feeling the fabric, buttoning the buttons with intention. When we walk, we should just walk. It sounds deceptively simple, yet it is radically counter-cultural. To do one thing at a time is to treat every moment as if it matters. It is to recognize that life is not a series of obstacles to rush through to get to the good part, but that this, the eating, the dressing, the walking, is the life we have been given. By fragmenting our attention, we fragment our souls. By unifying our attention, we become whole again. We begin to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. The sunlight hitting the floor, the sound of a loved one's voice, the taste of water. These things regain their vibrancy when we actually show up for them. Of course, the path to this level of presence is not paved with instant bliss. It is often paved with boredom, sleepiness, and the feeling of failure. This is perhaps the most compassionate and realistic part of the teaching. It is okay to struggle. In fact, struggle is part of the design. The mind craves entertainment. It wants the dopamine hit of a new video or a dramatic thought. When we force it to look at the breath, it rebels. It gets bored. It tries to put us to sleep to escape the monotony. Beginners often find themselves nodding off, spending 59 minutes of an hour-long session in a haze of drowsiness. But here is the beautiful reframing. Even if you sleep for 59 minutes, if you wake up for that last minute and realize, "Oh, I was sleeping," that is a moment of mindfulness. That is a victory. We are like sunflowers. When a sunflower is a young bud, it droops, heavy and uncertain. But as it grows, it learns to turn its face toward the sun. It stands upright, drinking in the light, blooming fully. We are currently in the drooping stage, heavy with our old habits of greed, hatred, and delusion. But every time we bring our attention back to the breath, we are turning toward the sun. We are orienting ourselves toward the light of awareness. It requires patience. We cannot pull a sprout to make it grow faster. We can only water it and wait. We must believe in ourselves, even when the progress seems invisible. We must trust that the cumulative effect of these small moments of awareness is transforming us. slowly but surely, into people who can stand upright in the world, rooted in wisdom and blooming in peace. This growth requires a fundamental shift in how we view success and the future. We live in a results-oriented society. We want the six-pack abs, the promotion, the enlightenment, and we want it now. But in meditation, expectation is the enemy. The more we expect a profound spiritual experience, the more we suffer when we just get an itchy nose and a wandering mind. Expectation creates a gap between where we are and where we want to be. And that gap is filled with frustration. We are reminded to let go of the destination. When asked what he hopes for when the pilgrimage reaches Washington, D.C., the Venerable offers a profound lesson in presence. Let me try the peanuts today first. It is a humorous deflection, but it holds deep wisdom. Why worry about what will happen in the capital when there are peanuts to be eaten right now? We do not know if we will make it to D.C. We do not know what tomorrow holds. The only thing we actually have is this mouthful of peanuts, this breath, this step. If we ruin the present by obsessing over the future, we lose everything. We lose the journey in anticipation of the destination. To practice mindfulness is to trust that if we take care of the present moment, the future will take care of itself. If we walk well today, we will arrive where we need to be. As we look toward the horizon of our lives, there is a sense of hopeful urgency. Time waits for no one. The years are passing, and if we are not careful, we will reach the end of our lives having spent the vast majority of them lost in thought, distracted by screens, and enslaved by anxiety. We cannot afford to go back to the old days of reactive, unconscious living. We have suffered enough. The invitation is to make this year, this very moment, the turning point. We must resolve to become new people, not by changing our names or our addresses, but by changing the quality of our attention. We have the tools, we have the breath, we have the capacity to pause, to note, to return, and to love. The sunflower is ready to bloom, but it needs the sunlight of our awareness. Let us commit to this path not as a chore, but as an act of supreme self-love. Let us put down the heavy burdens we were never meant to carry. Silence the noise of the world, and listen to the quiet rhythm of our own aliveness. Let us eat the peanuts, love the moment, and walk each step with the dignity of those who know they have finally come home.